tiny seeds we're taking root. Learning how to grow, yeah, bear sweet fruit.
Imani, picture it. Brand new house, wide open backyard, no shade, no buffer, no privacy. And by Saturday, the homeowner wants a green wall like they ordered it off an app.
Yes, the emotional speed of that is so real. An empty yard can feel exposed in a way that's almost personal, so people go hunting for the promise of instant enclosure, and very often that promise comes dressed up as Thuja Green Giant.
Right, and look, I get why. When it's young, Green Giant Arborvitae looks clean, upright, manageable. It starts narrow, looks harmless, fits the fantasy. You line up a few of them and you think, perfect, privacy solved.
But Starts Narrow is doing a lot of work there, because the whole trap is in that first impression. It does not stay the polite little vertical accent people think they bought. It keeps widening and widening and climbing.
That 5 feet apart thing is where people get burned. I see it all the time. Planted 5 feet on center, treated like a hedge, like you're gonna keep it in this neat little lane forever. No. That's not a hedge move. That's future crowding, future shading, future why is this whole side yard disappearing?
So let me say it back and you tell me if I've got it. People are using a tree with hedge expectations. They want a screen that behaves like a trimmed wall, but the plant itself is saying, I am going to become much more than that.
Exactly. That's it. You can't bully the plant into being your sketch. If the whole plan depends on it staying narrow forever, the plan's bad. And honestly, this is where the instant privacy mindset messes people up. Everybody wants the finished photo on day one. But in the field, fast fixes can create slow headaches.
There's something almost poetic about that. A screen is supposed to create peace, but if it's placed without imagination, it becomes pressure. Too close, too tight, too many. And now the thing meant to give relief starts swallowing space.
Yeah, the privacy solution becomes the problem with needles. And for the crew, this matters. If you can picture where that plant is headed, not just what it looks like today, you make better calls. You can explain it better too. Hey, if you want a formal hedge look, this ain't that. If you want a big living screen and you've got room, different conversation.
That phrase, where it's headed, is the whole lesson. Plant knowledge isn't memorizing a label, it's seeing time, seeing width, seeing the future shape before the future arrives.
And saving somebody from planting a row of harmless trees 5 feet apart because they're in a hurry. Hurry is expensive in landscaping.
From a distance, there's a certain kind of tree that doesn't just sit on a property. It seems to hold the whole scene together. Norway spruce does that. You see the layered form, the branches drooping down in long, soft planes, the cones hanging there, and the whole place suddenly has structure.
That holding the whole scene together line is dead on. Because this isn't a patio side little accent. This is a large-scale tree. Open land, edge of lot, windbreak kind of tree. It needs plenty of room to grow.
And yet people will stand near a patio and ask for exactly that silhouette, like they want the romance without the size.
Yep, they want a Norway spruce in a space built for something way smaller. And this is where you gotta be honest. Near the house, close to the patio, tight foundation bed. That's future regret. It might look fine going in. It might even look great for a minute. But that's the trick with a lot of big trees. The mistake doesn't yell at you on installation day.
It whispers.
Exactly. It whispers. Then 10 years later, it's yelling. Okay, where does it work? Big open properties, places that need scale. Windbreak use makes sense. Perimeter use makes sense. Edge of lot placement makes sense. Where does it fail? Cramped spaces where people are trying to force grandeur into a small footprint.
That edge of lot phrase is useful because it tells you something visual too. This is a tree that wants a backdrop of sky. It wants breathing room around its form. If you jam it beside the house, you lose the very quality that made you want it.
And the crew needs to clock that early. If a homeowner points to a mature Norway spruce way off in the distance and says, I want that right here by the deck, you've got to translate the picture. You like this because it has space. You like this because it anchors the property. Up close in a tight bed, it's a different story.
So the practical pattern is admire it from a distance, place it with distance in mind.
That's clean, and I'd add one more thing. Don't confuse big with versatile. A tree can be beautiful and still be wrong for most of the spots people ask for. That's not a knock on the tree. That's respect for the tree.
Respect, in landscape terms, is often just accurate scale, knowing when a plant is meant to be part of the yard and when it is meant to become the yard. Okay, next up is Ginkgo biloba, which to me always arrives like a small revelation. You're on a city street, everything feels ordinary, and then suddenly one tree turns that clear electric gold in fall, not yellowish, gold. And the leaves, those fan-shaped leaves, are so distinct you can recognize them almost before you know the name.
And what I like about ginkgo is it does not beg for attention early. It's slow, it's resilient, it's urban tough. It's basically the plant version of a person who never talks about the grind, and then one day you realize they've built something serious.
Yes, it isn't interested in impressing anyone quickly, which is hard for people because quick results are seductive. But ginkgo is a long-game tree. It asks for trust before it offers spectacle.
That's a great way to put it. If somebody wants a fast transformation, ginkgo's probably not going to scratch that itch. But if they want future value, if they can think past this season, past next year, now we're talking. This is planting for the version of the site that doesn't exist yet.
And that phrase, planting for the version of the site that doesn't exist yet, is really the deeper discipline here. Good placement has faith in time, not blind faith, informed faith. You know the leaf shape, you know the fall moment, you know the tree's temperament. Slow, yes, but sturdy, capable, unbothered by the city doing city things around it.
There's also one gotcha you absolutely need to remember with ginkgo, because this is the part clients remember too. Male and female trees are not the same conversation. That's one of those practical details that sticks because it matters in the real world.
The male-female issue is the kind of detail that proves plant knowledge is not trivia. It changes decisions, it changes what you recommend, it changes whether a future client is grateful or calling you later with a tone in their voice.
Yep, a tone in their voice is putting it nicely. And honestly, that's the takeaway for this whole episode. Some plants sell the dream of speed, some dominate the whole property if you let them, and some, like ginkgo, reward patience. Your job is to see the shape of that timeline before the client does.
Because the best planting decisions are not just about what looks good now, they're about what kind of future you're willing to wait for.
And whether you remember to ask the male or female question before the hole got dug, that's it for me.
Same here, see you next time.
We belong. The roots run deep, our foundation true. Ready for the sunshine and the morning dew.